These are the miners that you need to be buying right now. Why would you believe me though?
Who the f are you?
I'm Drew Vosk, and this is me out here on the VoskCoin mining farm. This is my personal research that I put into basically what do I do next with my mining farm, and I'm here to share it with you. Of course, we're going to talk about Bitcoin mining and also Doge mining. Those are the two most profitable coins to mine in the world right now. We're also going to be looking at some lucrative DePin coins, like one that I've made my money back on that miner twice over in the last several months, as well as a few other cryptocurrencies you probably haven't even heard of, yet there's very lucrative mining rigs for them, addressing the pros and cons of that. And then finally, by the end of this video, we'll be reaching a verdict on what miners I am personally buying right now and deploying on my mining farm, which I think are the exact ones that you should grab too. Mining is the best way to earn passive income. I firmly believe that, and that's why I've dedicated so much of my time to building a mining farm and then also making passive income content here on the channel focused largely around mining. So we look at the emission, right? Bitcoin around 40 million. That's been pretty typical lately. Dogecoin, when you combine the other coins or merge mining with it, it's still pushing 4 million plus in daily emission. And then a lot of other profitable or, essentially lucrative coins, or at least coins with high emission, right? Cas was pulled back significantly. The difficulty for that coin's gone up a lot, but it's still putting out over $500,000 per day. But right now, it's very obvious manufacturers are hoarding the next best model for Caspa mining. So it is absolutely the wrong time to buy an existing Caspa miner. They're going to be coming out with better miners that are just basically much more profitable. I've been doing a lot of solo mining with mini miners. That's been really fun and just reinvigorating my interest mining with like a hobbyist style, not the dude with the channel, like, just a hobby.
It's not just a hobby.
I can't even say that word anymore without thinking about it. Was that genius branding or was that annoying? Just kidding, man. But seriously, right? Like hobby style, like you want to spend a couple bucks and have a shot at mining over 3 Bitcoin, hitting a block. Well, these are providing incredible opportunities to do so here. In particular, I absolutely love the BitAxe. We reached out to Coin Mining Central. I'm like, hey, you guys should carry this. And now they are carrying it, which is very cool to see. And they've got really good pricing on it at $200, including a power supply here. So make sure to check them out and support the channel with our link below if you want to do so. The coolest miner out of the box, right, to put on your desk, that's quiet, has very nice features. This doesn't speak to everyone, right? But I really think it's the Brains mini miner. We also have a code VoskCoin to save some coin on their site. It gets you whopping $30 off. So it's pretty significant savings, 10% there on their BMM 101. So I'm a content creator in addition to a mining farm, so stuff I like, I reach out, I get a coupon code or referral link because I want to save our subscribers money, and then it's also a great way to just support the channel buying whatever you want to buy here. I'm just here to show you cool stuff. I don't want to influence you to buy it or whatever, right? But if you wanted to get more hash for the money with an open sourced Bitcoin, this is open source mining hardware and software on the BitAxes. It's so cool, right? So if you wanted to get more hash for the money, right, you're looking at a super hex or something from Tiny Chip Hub. But if you want the nicest desk piece possible that can't cut your finger off, then you're looking at the BMM 101. But anyway, let's bring it back to the bigger miners here, right? These are all ASICs, application-specific integrated circuit miners, purpose-built machines, custom computers with these ASIC mining chips that normally only mine one mining algorithm. The BitAxe and other miners we just talked about normally are using one or just a couple ASIC chips as opposed to potentially hundreds. When you look at the mining profitability, right, and we're looking on mining now, I've been doing some testing. They reached out to us to compare their product and say they say it's better than ASIC miner value and some others. So we pull up the Bitmain Ant Miner L9 here, income 26, and then I pull this up here on Mining Now, and we can see that the income is at 29, and it seems to be that ASIC miner value is only taking the calculation of maybe just Dogecoin, where this is taking 3 coins of merge mining, putting them together and giving you the actual real world or closer to mining profitability. I've been spending a lot of time recently researching just again and again. What is the best bang for buck mining rig, right? What's the best cost per hash, the profitability? How should I be expanding the VoskCoin mining farm? Well, I'll tell you, it's a heavy focus on script mining, which is basically Doge mining. I've got any mini Doge I've ever had, hashing or mining Dogecoin. Those, if you got those when they came out and you ran them the entire time, they have more than made their money back. So anybody who complains about, oh, I got this Doge miner, it didn't work out, you either somehow grossly overpaid, or you just didn't run it the whole time and stack those coins and then let things appreciate. So pretty cool metrics there, if you ask me. The L9, it's grossly priced. Doge has gone up a lot in price. It's been like trading at nearly double its current price point in recent history. So these miners are commanding an absolute premium, and they cannot make these as fast as they can sell these. Well, that's not true. They actually recently have caught up, and they are in stock because they're pretty overpriced. I ran the numbers here. The bottom is in GBP, Great British Pound, just because I hadn't clicked it over on the site.
Hello.
Basically, don't compare the bottom of the spreadsheet to the top of the spreadsheet. But the point is, and I wasn't quite sure on the watt usage here, but the bottom line was the cost per hash on the 16500 was the best cost per hash. That's why we just procured another Antminer L9 from Coin Mining Central for the VoskCoin mining farm. So if you have a big budget, I'm very bullish on these. I think it's going to be a good ride. Let's talk about DePin mining for a little bit. How about my boy Geodude? Did you ever see our Geodnet miner video? So these things are like around $750. And we have a code with Helium Deploy that supports you and us. That's linked down below. I've doubled the cost of this miner in the last several months, and it hasn't even been working right half the time. And now there's a new Wingsbit miner on the way that dual mines essentially Geodnet as well as Wingsbit. Right, it tracks aircrafts and satellites. You got to mount this high up on a pole. Like, this is different. This isn't just you buy 10 of these and you plug them in your basement. Also, don't think just because it's a reseller you're paying a higher price. You're actually going to get a better price than if you went and bought it directly here from the manufacturer. You've got to lock down your hex and all this other kind of weird DePin stuff with Wingsbit. So basically, make sure to subscribe, and I'll make some very specific content on that. But I just wanted to give you a heads up here on the jump on this, because people have been talking about this. I've been really turned off to DePin mining with the way that Helium went. Like, it was super profitable, and then it went down. Helium and manufacturers basically rugged a lot of users in a lot of different ways, and it just really burned me out and burned me financially in some aspects with orders I didn't receive and shit that didn't work or whatever. But the bottom line is, right, I can't sit here and be burnt out forever and let new opportunities pass me by. You make your decision. I'm not here to push you. I'm just here to, bring this to your attention. Helium Deploy has a sub-product called DePin Tracker, Moken.io. I hate bringing it up, like, use my link, but like with our link to that site, you get a free subscription or whatever to their stuff. You need a link to get that. But the bottom line is, you look at the earnings on this Geodnet miner, so it's cumulative earnings right here, $1,500. That's more than twice the purchase price there before any coupon codes. Let's talk about Big Daddy Bitcoin. I got 3 petahash of Bitcoin mining power. I've got some broken miners, some miners in transit, and a couple miners that mine on a different mining pool for a couple of different reasons. But you can see my information here. Right? We have a good relationship with Luxor. I'm looking at deploying more miners on the Lux OS, which is their custom miner firmware there. They also have a newsletter. There's a free and premium version of it. And then it's called Hash Rate Index, and they have all kinds of mining and Bitcoin information. It's also very useful if you're into the crypto stocks, especially the Bitcoin mining stocks, which I have heavy exposure to. Just because historically I found those to be very lucrative in bull runs, right? And so I just wanted that easy exposure. But they put out a lot of information on that. So I invite you to check all that stuff out if it interests you. Here's a quick snapshot. I just kind of guessed my cumulative power usage because I didn't want to crunch the exact numbers. It should be semi-accurate. So I get around 3,000 terahash, which is 3 petahash. My all-in electric rate, we'll call it 8 cents. It's technically lower, but I like to be cautious there. And so I'm estimated to earn around $160 in Bitcoin, and then be profiting about $26 a day after I account for my electrical costs there. Another Bitcoin mining tool, if you will. Last month, we're very proud of it. We think it's really cool, right? So you're like, oh, I got a BitAxe. When am I going to hit a block? You can punch that number in. Or you're like, okay, I've got all these miners and I've got a cumulative 150 terahash. what's my chance of hitting a block if I'm solo mining, right? And so you can drop this down. So if I had 3 petahash, I have a 1 in 6 chance to mine a Bitcoin block every year, which would earn me over $300,000. So just for fun, if we look at my projected daily mining profitability here, right? So I'd be mining about $160 a coin over a year. I'd mine about $60,000 of Bitcoin. So, I mean, that's like, I would mine like 0.6 Bitcoin, or I could take a 1 in 6 shot at mining a Bitcoin block over the next year to earn 300,000 divided by 60, right? I should have been able to do that math in my head. Wow, pretty easy math. So I would potentially earn 5 times as much while carrying significant risk, because if you're solo mining and you don't hit a block, you'll never earn anything.
So you get nothing. You lose.
If I'm doing that, I will be accruing an electricity cost daily, right, of like $130. Every day I'll spend $130. A $50,000 bet over the next year. It's basically saying I'll wager $50,000 that I'll be the one out of the 6 people, statistically, right, that would hit that Bitcoin block with this power. I could very well go 2 years or even beyond and never hit a Bitcoin block. It's a scary proposition. That's why solo mining on a small scale is fun, exciting, and not scary, because you buy a $200 BitAxe and it uses like $1 a month of electricity or whatever it is. Like, it's something that you could sustain easily for the rest of your life. How many years could you pay out 50 grand without making anything until you financially couldn't sustain it anymore, or you just want to stop the pain? So if you don't know, my heritage is out of Slovakia, and at the time it was Czechoslovakia.
Hi, everyone.
This is BitDCA. They're based in Prague, or the Czech Republic, and they're creating a new way to save in Bitcoin, which I think is cool. They reached out to us to review what they've got going on. I think it's cool. I want to share with you. And what's surprising about what they're doing, I like the name. It's a very on-product brand, right? BitDCA, you would be like Bitcoin dollar cost average, right? They're launching their app called Little Bit, which is kind of funny, like a little bit of Bitcoin all the time. I guess that's their branding. I didn't watch some trailer or something, but if I was their CMO, that's how I would be pitching it. A little bit helps you save by setting aside a little extra every time you pay by card. The app then invests these savings into Bitcoin. Set it up, pay and save, let it run, let it eat. Watch your savings grow as Bitcoin strengthens. But the Little Bit app gets you engaged directly with Bitcoin, not a Bitcoin ETF. That means that an app like this is part of the solution and not part of the industrialization of Bitcoin, which is not the solution as far as I'm concerned. Then you take this and they build it, they make it a wallet type. I can deposit into this, I can withdraw. I'm not saying they do that, I'm saying that those are the features I want here. And you've got something that's more interesting and product specific as opposed to something more general like Acorn. And they aren't stopping just there at the Little Bit app. They're pushing out their own token, BDCA. This token launch powering their app, a Central European launch, expansion to UK and Asia, onboarding the next 1 million users. Quite a goal. But the bottom line is they're launching a token, they're launching this app, and it's all around Bitcoin. I'm very receptive to Bitcoin-centric products. Every day that goes by, I'm more of a Bitcoin maxi and just less of my shit coining ways. But let's bring it back to the shit coins, mis amigos. Let's speed run some miners I really think you shouldn't buy right now. Nervos network miners. Why, Vosk? Well, I'm glad you asked. So the K7 barely turns a profit right now, depending on your electricity rate, and it's just a really old miner. They have to have a better miner in their back pocket. And what happens in these scenarios, if they feel like it, they'll release a new one and make these basically obsolete. And I have a bunch of these. I have 15 of these. So don't write me off as thinking I'm trying to protect my Nervos mining endeavor. I don't give a shit, okay? That's the thing with my channel. I give you the real information, the real facts here, and that's it. I'm not here to just, safeguard and hide my information. I have been exposing the truth in the crypto sector and shining the light on many things for many years. Why would I stop now over 15 miners that I've already made my money back on? Anyway, the point is that Nervos needs to pump a ton for these to even be relevant again. And it's been many years. You don't want this old hardware. It's the exact same situation with the KA3. The Nervos Network KA3 Cadena miner, right? That's another miner you see based on the emissions here. Pretty low, all things considered. It's really old hardware. It's just way too risky for me. Something I absolutely don't want additional exposure to, right? You look at like the KS5L, the Casper miner I talked about earlier, the KS5 Pro. These miners are barely profitable, and they used to trade, cost tens of thousands of dollars, like 20 grand plus. You look at the Antminer AL1 by Bitmain. This thing makes $1 a day. Just a few months ago, this had an associated cost of $30,000. This has been one of the absolute, financial ruin decisions I've made in the mining game. And I base it on old logic that originally, back in the day, first batch miners always did well. Not true anymore. They're price gouging the crap out of you. So that's a lithium mining. Alf tanked, made a bunch of miners, been an awful experience. The new hot coin is going to be Alio. And these miners just showed up. They were making $30 a day just a couple days ago. They're already down to $20 a day. There was like $300,000 in daily emissions, and that's trending down. More miners are being produced. The efficiency difference here is catastrophic. The only one you can get that's in stock ready to ship right now is like the A-Box Pro. A lot of people will probably get wrecked here unless these mining manufacturers literally like throw people a bone and have them do really well with this. So we're all like, oh yeah, mining's great again. And then they just get us on the next one.
Larry, what the hell are you doing? Larry!
Look at Radiant, right? Remember Radiant? I got the Dragon Ball A11, spending thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm never going to make my money back on that thing unless Radiant just does an insane pump. The RX Zero was much easier to stomach at a lower price point, but most people, I don't believe, ever made their money back on that one. I actually never got that machine in. So it's like, where's my head at, right? I'm buying Bitcoin miners. I'm buying Dogecoin miners. And I'm in a holding pattern on a lot of these other coins. Like I've got plenty of Ethereum Classic exposure. That's been such a weird coin that just absolutely dominated by these Bombax miners. But then out of nowhere, Apollo showed back up with a machine that was actually good. I haven't seen these in person. Kind of the same with the X44P. Ethereum Classic, in a period like a year ago, seemed like a really sure bet for an altcoin diversification on a mining farm. But I think it's like weirdly treacherous right now. So for me personally, I'm in a holding pattern on that one. And you do whatever you want to do there. You go down the list, you look at the most profitable stuff. It's Doge, massive Bitcoin miners, a little bit of Ethereum Classic and Alio, and then eventually you get into just all of the latest generation Bitcoin miners. So like I've been really happy with my S21 XP so far. I've left it air cooled. I just let it do its thing. These are the miners that I would be buying right now. The Bitcoin miner that really speaks to me when I ran through the spreadsheet on another video recently is going to be the BitDeer Seal Miner A2, and this is basically a subsidiary of Bitmain. Or if it's not technically, it might as well be. But for $4,300 before the VoskCoin coupon code, you get 226 terahash a second of Bitcoin mining power for a whopping 3,700 watts of electricity. It's the best bang for buck, air cooled. There's a lot of these other miners that are really exciting and interesting, especially those immersion Bitmain miners for Bitcoin, the S21 immersion and the S21 XP immersion. But their input voltage is basically three-phase 415. So it's not something you're going to be running on a single-phase service. I have like a giant single-phase mining farm, but I have a small mining farm when you look at three-phase deployments. I sunk an order for this. Should get it sooner than later. I'm excited, and I'm curious to see how these look and perform in hand. And we'll see. It's a new manufacturer to the mining game, if you will, kind of like Oradine and a few others. It's especially interesting to see latest generation Bitcoin mining efficiency from different brand names. But this is kind of in the same house, so I don't know if I necessarily count that. Ordean is a bit different though. They're mainly dealing with big mining farms. There's not a lot of distributors and resellers for them, so it's hard to get those on a smaller scale. So Bitcoin, I'm ordering just one for now, just to make sure it's good to go. The Bitdeer A2, adding more script miners, specifically, right? The Antminer L9. I'm considering the other Volk miners. They've got the D1 that's worse than their original D1, and then the mini Doge miner, D1 Mini I believe it's called, and then the Flu miner, which may take the crown for the worst name in miner history. It actually literally just got delivered, so I'm gonna go hands-on with that and see if that's interesting. But then on a small scale Doge mining, the AlphaPex DG Home 1 has been a good performer for me here on the farm. I'm loving the mini Bitcoin miners, everything from Bitaxis to the Brains, very cool, complete product form factor. And then the Mini 3 is a nice step up that is literally heating my living room. I was cross comparing some results, and a lot of other people, the Mini 3s I guess have been breaking for them. Mine's been fine, but I don't know. I was surprised to hear that. Generally, the Canon products have been pretty good reliability for me. All the way back to their the 900 series, where you had the little controller thing you had to attach to most of them. It was essentially an external control board. And then the 1300 series of mine has been running great for a long time. I had a 1200 series that did great. I have 1500 series that's doing well so far. And the mini miners, the Nano 3, Multiple 3S, Mini 3, whatever. So that's where I'm at. That's where my head's at. I'm also looking to expand the Geodnet mining a little bit. Those things only use like 10 watts, and you can really only deploy like one per location. So it's a great way to kind of pace yourself if you're really kind of high speed mining. But I don't know. I'm conflicted on that because all the DePin stuff, it's always weird. It's always more complicated than just, plugging in the Ethernet, plugging in a power cable, earning passive income. Like most of the other mining gear is these days. And it's not like you get to tinker with it. It's just annoying to set up. Like tinkering, like building a GPU mining rig is a lot of fun, especially when it used to be really lucrative. Tinkering with Bitaxis channels a little bit of that just fun in mining. Tinkering with DePin stuff is just like advanced troubleshooting normally. That's not fun at all. But your mileage may vary, and I'm looking at building like some off-grid style setups, and that would be a fun project for sure. So hey, I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, please. I'm begging you. I'm chasing 1 million subscribers. I cannot retire until I hit 1 million. So if you hate me, subscribe to get rid of me. If you like me, subscribe, and then maybe I'll just stay after 1 million. And so you won't be getting rid of me. I don't know. 10 seconds of tails. We run it on every video because she is our Lord Commander here at VoskCoin. I am just on her council. Or maybe I'm the cook. Or maybe on a good day I'm like the knight or something. I'll see you later. Hope you're having a good one. Remember, you got this. Don't give up. Whatever you're chasing.